No Way Home is an interesting movie because a lot of information was leaked prior to the film's release, and I mean a lot. A 4K video of Andrew Garfield was leaked along with set photos of Tobey Maguire and Andrew, and it seemed like just about everything was known about this film months before the release. In April, I made a video discussing plot leaks from Reddit, and while there were many accurate leaked stills and videos released, in this video I wanted to recap over everything I discussed in that previous video and see if it lines up. If you haven't watched that video, it is in the description, but what I'll basically be doing is going over each plot point in that video and commenting on whether it was correct. This leak came from Reddit, and the user also claimed to have worked on the film while also accurately predicting who the mystery character was in Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 5, so at the time people thought these leaks had some credibility. To begin, the user claimed the film would pick up where Far From Home left off, which is correct since the opening of the film is an extended sequence of Far From Home's mid-credits scene and the immediate aftermath of Peter Parker's identity being revealed. The next point of this post is that Peter would be in court trying to defend himself, something that is inaccurate since there isn't a court scene in the final film, and the closest thing we got to that was the interrogation scene at the police station. Next, the user would claim that there is shit going down in the multiverse with multiple villains being brought into the MCU, and Strange tries to contain them all in a special prison he made. This is partially accurate as Strange was able to capture the Lizard, and Peter would do the same for the rest of the villains being put in the prison beneath the Sanctum Sanctorum. It's unclear exactly what this user is claiming went down in the multiverse, but we do know that the botch spell is what brought the movie villains into the MCU, so we could say that this point is accurate. The next point is completely inaccurate to what actually happened with the villains, as the user claims Peter messes with magic to clear his name, and he becomes the one responsible for all the villains escaping the prison, and now it's up to him to return them. In the film, we do know that Peter goes to Strange to see if he can get him to clear his name, so that's partially true, but from the film we do know that Peter instead tries to help the villains rather than having them return to the prison. Next, Tobey and Andrew are in the second and third acts of the film helping Tom capture the villains, and there are even scenes of the other Spider-Men on their own. Andrew and Tobey wouldn't appear until the final act of the film, and again, they don't help Tom capture the villains, instead they help him save them. But the one element of this point that is true is that there were some scenes of the two Spider-Men on their own. The portal scene is an example, and they seem to interact with each other more than interacting with Tom at some points. The user did accurately predict where the final battle would take place and all of the villains being there. However, the user did claim that they would all be fighting over an arc reactor, with each villain returning to the prison except for the Goblin. This isn't something that I really give credit for since there were set photos of this Captain America statue seen prior to the film's final trailer, so I think anyone could have figured that out, but in a way the user is correct by saying that all the villains will return to the prison except for the Goblin. In the final film, once the dust settles, the Green Goblin disappears, so they kind of got that part correct, but again, it is inaccurate due to the prison aspect. Next, something that did happen in the film is that the Green Goblin kills somebody and Tom Holland's Spider-Man is furious over it. It doesn't say when this happens or who it is in this post, but this point is accurate as Aunt May would die before the final fight in No Way Home. It's also correct that the user says that Tom almost killed him but didn't, and that happens in the film when Tobey stops Tom from doing so. The biggest inaccuracy of this post is the film's ending, which includes Peter finishing high school and everybody knowing that he's Spider-Man. The exact opposite happens in the film, with everyone forgetting who Peter Parker is, and it is suggested that Peter can't finish high school because of this, so he's going for his GED. Apparently, one of the alternate endings of No Way Home included everybody still knowing that Peter Parker is Spider-Man and him finishing high school, so if that is true, then yes, this is correct, but given the final film's ending, we can say that this isn't. So looking at these points, it does appear that the user would get some points accurate, but the overall basis of the story is incorrect. It's funny to me looking back on this now that there is no mention of Daredevil scene, even with the full-on court scene. I don't think these were the only plot leaks for the film, but these are the ones I made a video on, and it's nice to look back on them since we've come so far now that the film has been released. So let me know what you all think. Are there any other plot leaks you are aware of, and do you like any of the story ideas in this video better than the final film? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, be sure to subscribe, follow my social medias, hit that like button, and I will see you guys again in my next video.